The Declaration of Independence. If you don't know, that's a contract some important people signed, basically saying, we're done, Britain. It was important. We were, well, independent, giving us any rights we want to an amount. We were free to do whatever we wanted to do. And what did we do? A mere 200 years later, these Cambridge University students were like, yo, what you want to do? I don't know, man. Make a microcontroller and an operating system on Linux? Oh, sure, whatever. Soon they made exactly that. Raspberry Pi. Yeah, original, I know. But here's the problem. This was in Britain. You know, the place we don't want to be associated with. So how can this matter to the Declaration of Independence? Well, let's look at the second paragraph. Right at the beginning, when it says, all men are created equal. Now, this seems not to matter, but because we acknowledge everyone is created equally, we had no problem accepting Raspberry Pi into our country, even if it came from our arch nemesis. So, what did we accept? Well, not only are we allowed to buy and ship products, but because we are allowed to teach any subject morally right in America, we can learn and use Raspberry Pi in dedicated classrooms. So, what is Raspberry Pi? Well, like I mentioned before, Raspberry Pi is a microcontroller and a computer. But I'm just going to talk about the microcontroller bit. To power something, we need a circle of electricity. Get 3 volts of power, put it on the grid, connect it to a GRND, and put a light in the middle of the circuit. Light is on. You can also connect the light from 3V to GRND, and it works. We can also do this with a fan. Well, what do we use Raspberry Pi for? You know those signs that move right to left or left to right? Well, one time I went to this place. Crazy. And it was really cool. It had old tech and an old 3D printer. And they used the printer I use. Well, there was that sign, and they had that complicated program that I don't even want to begin to know what to use for that. But it was all powered by Raspberry Pi. Also, smart lights. Turn red, or turn blue, or turn Pantel 488C lights. There are also computers made entirely of Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi supercomputers. Also, here's one. Music streaming. I didn't know that. But what type of name is Raspberry Pi anyway? Well, the raspberry part probably added because of Raspberry Pi, not Raspberry Pi. And also because of Apple, the company, and fruit-related tech items. But the Pi was a nod to Python, which was what Raspberry Pi was originally going to be made with. And I know it's sad. It's not because of Raspberry 3.14159265897932384626433832795028884. Really sad. Anyway, I think I'll end it here. Let's roll credits.